Ring of Honor senior official Todd Sinclair calls for the opening bell. The American Dragon Bryan Danielson is set to defend the world title against the returning to professional wrestling, Lance Storm.
And Storm, a well-traveled veteran of the mat wars. He came back for one reason and one reason only, the one belt in this business that has eluded Lance Storm. He's won 27 titles all over the world, the United States, Canada, Europe, Japan. He's been a 3-time ECW World Tag Team Champion, a 2-time WWE Tag Team Champion, a 3-time WCW United States Heavyweight Champion, but the only belt Lance Storm has never won has been the world title, and he came back here to take Bryan Danielson's title.
For all intents and purposes, Lance Storm is retired as an active wrestler. He's been training wrestlers up in Calgary, but now he has seen that Bryan Danielson is one of the very best in the world. He's seen some ROH DVDs, he's seen what Bryan Danielson is all about, and that it would be a test for Lance Storm to even get in the ring with him. Whether there was a title on the line or not, he realizes the talent of Bryan Danielson, and he wants to test his own skills against the best in the world. Going for the drop kick, but he saw that coming, and not tonight. Lance Storm gets out of the way.
Veteran right there. Lance Storm saw Danielson. Obviously, the 10 weeks that Lance Storm has spent training for this comeback, he has watched hours and hours of tapes of Bryan Danielson. He saw that drop kick coming and was able to avoid it.
Moving on to the wrist lock, and Jimmy Bauer making his way into the broadcast booth.
What an atmosphere we have here, guys. I just had to stop by the booth to say hello to everybody. Lance Storm, what an honor to have him come out of retirement to wrestle here in ROH. He attended the Steel Cage Warfare show back in December, loved the atmosphere, saw Bryan Danielson wrestle, wanted to compete against him, wants that world title. Of course, Lance Storm was in town in December to do an edition of the Straight Shooting Series. That shoot interview now available at ROHWrestling.com, and it's a great one. And wow, I mean, it's just unbelievable here. 1,700 fans, Lance Storm out of retirement, and I'll let you guys take it away from here.
You can say that Lance Storm got the itch once again. It's sort of like the Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave. You can never really leave the wrestling business or quit. It always brings you back, and the competition is what brought Lance Storm to Ring of Honor.
He just got slapped in the face by the world champ. Bryan Danielson showing absolutely no respect and, more importantly, no fear of Lance Storm whatsoever. Bryan Danielson is supremely confident.
This is going to be no different than any other Bryan Danielson match where he likes to set the pace of the match. He likes to dictate the pace. And he's going to try to do the very same thing regardless of all those credentials that Lance Storm has going into this important bout.
Storm with the front face lock on Danielson after he elevated him off his feet. Dragon able to get back up, trying to drive Lance Storm to the corner, but Storm able to turn and drive the champion to the corner. Todd Sinclair looking for a break. And a slap to the face, a little payback from Lance Storm.
Well, he's not going to put up with the attitude of the American Dragon in this matchup himself. Bryan Danielson may be the world champion, but Lance Storm is the veteran, and he wants to dictate the pace of this match just as much as Danielson does.
Lance Storm has been in this business for 16 years. It's going to be very difficult for Bryan Danielson to get in his head. Nice reversal by Storm. Right back to the hammerlock.
Keeping the champion chest first down on the canvas and driving the knee right into the arm as well as the back.
This is going to be as good a technical bout for the ROH World title as we have ever seen. These are two guys who can absolutely go in the ring. Hammerlock into a cover, able to get a near fall. Danielson, though, right back to his stomach.
And Bryan Danielson has been such a great world champion for Ring of Honor, really changing up his style, utilizing a variety of different finishing holds to gain the victories and retain that title against many opponents. And there, he was finally able to connect with that drop kick that Lance Storm was able to avoid just moments ago.
He sat down to get out of that hammerlock and connected with the drop kick right on the chin. Snapmares him over. Danielson to the corner. He drives the point of the knee right to the jaw.
Goes for the cover does Danielson. Doesn't hook the leg. Lance Storm able to kick out.
Face lock now by Danielson in the center of the ring, really cinching down on it. No.
Keeping hold of the head of Lance Storm, trying to work his way back to his standing position. He does. Danielson still holding on to him. Into the wrist lock goes Lance Storm. Forearm connects. And sends him off the ropes. Nice drop kick from Lance Storm. Sends Dragon all the way to the floor.
And there you see Danielson doing what he does early in a match when he gets in a little bit of trouble. He makes his way to the floor, trying to stop the momentum. And look at the welts still on the chest of Bryan Danielson. He is never going to get rid of those, courtesy of Roderick Strong. Last night, his chest was just obliterated by Roderick Strong. And look at those welts. Checking the chicklets is the champ as he got caught with that drop kick right in the mush.
Well, you want to talk about what a great champion and a fighting champion the American Dragon has been. I mean, he's taking on one of his top challengers in his wrestling career in Lance Storm, as now the referee checking on the grill of Bryan Danielson. Taking on one of his top challengers ever in his career here tonight after going nearly an hour against Roderick Strong last night. You gotta know that his body is the worse for wear. He's had less than 24 hours to recuperate from the beating that Roderick unleashed on the champion last night.
While Lance Storm has had 10 weeks with one purpose in mind, training to come back to win the ROH World title.
And what about what we saw earlier between Samoa Joe and Bryan Danielson? You better believe that Joe is keeping an eye on this one. He's now powered down to the canvas with the Greco-Roman knuckle lock is Danielson, trying to maintain that bridge as Lance Storm tries to break the bridge, but Danielson maintains it.
What strength in the neck of Bryan Danielson as he supports all 220 pounds of Lance Storm. Monkey flip, but Storm lands on his feet. Still with the agility, Lance Storm. And another standoff.
Oh, without a doubt, he hasn't lost a step. Time off or not, he's still the same Lance Storm that earned so many championships and made such an impact across the wrestling scene.
In fact, after 16 years of all the bumps and bruises and the travels all over the world that Lance Storm has had to endure, this time off is probably the best thing that's happened to him in as much as making a comeback at this time. He's been able to heal the nagging injuries, the bumps and bruises that he suffered over 16 years, and he's probably in the best shape he's been in years right now.
Waistlock takedown from the champion. Grabbing hold of the head as well as one of the arms and driving the knee into the head of the challenger. And once again, Dragon relentless. And talking some trash, as he has been known to do, trying to get into not only the head of his opponents, but the fans as well.
Danielson now just riding Storm. Trying to jockey for position. Storm, though, grabs the arm, floats over into a cover. Danielson able to kick out at 2. Reversal again by Dragon.
Storm was trying to get a hold of Danielson's body, but he worked his way out of that position in order to grab hold of Lance Storm. As once again, Storm back to his feet.
Danielson backs him into the corner. Sinclair again asking for the clean break, not going to get an elbow to the side of the head. Knife edge chop from Dragon.
Pulls him out of the corner. European uppercut. Sends Storm into the ropes. Of course, Lance Storm getting this title shot as he signed one of the open contracts that the American Dragon sent across the wrestling world, saying that he is the best in the world and he's going to prove it by taking on any challenger that will sign one of those contracts.
He is starting to assert himself here on the challenger, slapping away at the back of the head. Now using the laces of the boots across the eyes, getting a warning from Todd Sinclair.
He gets a warning, but it does the trick. It does damage to his opponent, but not phasing Lance Storm, still able to connect with the elbow and get the advantage.
Face lock by Storm here, looking for the vertical suplex. Has him up. All the blood rushing to the head of Bryan Danielson. Tremendous show of strength by Lance Storm here. And drops the champion down. Cover by Storm. Danielson able to kick out.
And trying to ground the champion right now is Lance Storm. Half Nelson applied while keeping the chin lock as well. Putting pressure on the neck as well as the shoulder. Trying to wear down the champion.
He's forcing Danielson to carry all of his weight too, as you see him leaning down on the back of the neck as well. Danielson, though, trying to alleviate the pressure, turns away from Storm and able to get to his feet.
And the fans of both of these wrestlers voicing their support here in Chicago Ridge. Driving the shoulder right into the midsection of Lance Storm. And yet again. Hard chop across the chest. And a headbutt to follow up.
Sinclair all over the champ, trying to get him out of the corner. Just choking away with the boot as he counts. Bryan Danielson obviously knows the rules. He has until 5.
It's an illegal move, but he does have until 5 to break. And he's taking full advantage.
Once again, choking away with that boot. Storm in the corner. Danielson's going to bring him out. Reversal by Storm. Danielson, though, elevates himself up and over.
That rolling half crab of Lance Storm, as soon as Bryan Danielson realized that he was falling victim to that hold, he quickly scurried to the bottom rope to force a break. That could have been it. That could have been the end of the match and the end of Danielson's title reign.
Storm going to follow him out to the floor. Hard forearm shot. Not giving the champ a chance on the floor. Knife edge chop to the chest by the challenger.
Not giving the champ a chance to dictate the pace of the match. He went out to the floor to regroup, but Lance Storm took the action out to the floor himself so that he can set the pace as he's chopping away at that chest himself.
Danielson trying to roll back to the ring. Storm right after him, though, not giving up this advantage that he's taken here. Sends the champ to the buckle one more time. Follows him in with a clothesline. Nowhere for Danielson to go. Face first on the canvas, turned over to a cover. Able to kick out.
Dragon still in this thing. Lance Storm looking to follow up as he pulls Danielson away from the ropes, back toward the center of the ring, and now into the corner.
Knife edge chop from Storm. Elbow to the midsection by Danielson, trying to buy some time, but Storm staying right on him, forearm to the back of the neck.
Backs him into the corner. Irish whip reversed. Storm into the buckle. Danielson charges into the elbow. Lance Storm to the second now. Danielson charges in, connects with the forearm strike, knocking Lance Storm off the ropes and all the way down to the concrete.
Challenger crashing on the concrete floor. Tremendous velocity and impact from Danielson on that forearm, knocking him all the way to the floor.
And now it's Danielson making the choice to go out to the floor himself as the challenger is out in a weakened position on the floor. And now some payback, chopping away at the chest of Lance Storm. And sending him into the barricade.
Another knife edge chop from the champ. 10 weeks of training for this matchup, that's something you can't train for. Getting sent face first into a back first into a steel barricade by the world champ. That's gonna take something out of you.
Look at the confidence and the determination on the face of the champion as it takes the action back inside the squared circle. And Storm on his back cover, but he's able to kick out.
Danielson setting him up, driving the knee right to the small of the back. Trying to soften Lance Storm up here. And grinding the knee into the lower back. And a third time.
Keeping the challenger grounded. Off the ropes comes Dragon. It's elevation. And driving the knee into the back once again. Pulling back on the face now. Pressure put on the neck. Demanding that Lance Storm tap out here. But he's not giving it up.
Storm trying to get to his feet, alleviating a lot of the pressure. Drives the elbow to the midsection, trying to free himself. Danielson, though, still hanging on. Storm off the ropes. Clothesline down by the champ.
Took away all his momentum, cover. But able to kick out his Storm. Again, knee placed right in the back. He's been softening up that body part. Also doing damage to the shoulders now, pulling back on the arms of Lance Storm. In a world of hurt, and he's got in the middle of the ring, nowhere near the ropes for Lance Storm to force a break.
I've seen this before. This is a move that Danielson likes to use to soften him up for the cattle mutilation. Storm, though, up to his feet, trying to power his way out, but Danielson able to hang on. And a mule kick right on the chin.
Great agility shown by Lance Storm right there, able to connect with the kick and save himself.
Danielson, though, up first. European again, rocks the challenger off the ropes. Fires back with a forearm of his own, knocking the champion down. Trading forearm shots.
European uppercut from American Dragon has Lance Storm down, and now hung up on that second rope, tearing away at the face of the challenger. Draws a warning from the referee once again. And now elevating Lance Storm, backbreaker over the knee.
More damage done to the back of Lance Storm. Has a hold of the leg. Turns him over. Could be looking for the surfboard here. More damage to the back, as well as the shoulders of Lance Storm. Standing on the knees.
Got the legs tied up. Shows the fans what he thinks of them.
Very appreciative of the 1,700 fans here in Chicago as the champ.
Not time for the surfboard yet, according to Bryan Danielson, as he just drives the knees of Lance Storm into the canvas rather than grabbing hold of the arms. Now maybe it's time for it, as he ties up the legs once again and now trying to fight for the arms of the challenger. Storm trying to fight it off, but Dragon's got him. Rocking back now. Trying to get full extension on the maneuver.
Todd Sinclair right there asking him if he wants to give it up. Danielson keeping his shoulders off the mat. Storm though fighting his way. He's trying to free himself.
Shaking his head no, and he can't break free, but Dragon changes it up and grabs hold of the chin lock with the legs still tied up, and now forearms from Lance Storm trying to break free, but Danielson again tearing away at the face as the referee applies the count.
Tremendous presence of mind on the part of Lance Storm, able to utilize those forearms. Danielson though going right back to the nose and the eyes, and the champ is extremely confident right now.
You can't underestimate Lance Storm, and he can't give him too much time to dig down for some extra energy. Just stomping away now. Just measures him for the kick.
Come on, Lance. They're all cheering for you.
Dragon now just taunting him, the fans cheering for Lance Storm.
Another disrespectful slap across the face of Lance Storm, and that's just gonna fire him up. Exchange of forearms between both men.
Again, Danielson goes right to the eyes of Storm, who connects with that kick.
And that takes Danielson down, both men feeling the effects. As referee Todd Sinclair applies the double count, and now it's Lance Storm looking to follow up. Back to his feet, drops the leg across the back of the neck.
Covered by Storm. Does not hook the leg, and the champ able to kick out at 2. Back to their feet. Off the ropes goes the champ. Puts on the brakes. Storm is trying to go for a belly to back, it looked like, and he gets caught with a suplex by Bryan Danielson. Cover here.
Again, come on, hook the leg, man. Only 2. Still trying to get the pinfall, making him exert that energy to kick out each time. And again, trying to wear down the challenger, stretching back on those arms and placing the knee in the back. Sinclair asking, has Lance Storm had it up? Does he need to give it up? But no, he wants the world title.
The reason he came back after that retirement, wanting to test himself against the best in the world. The one thing that's eluded him in his career, 16 years in this sport, he still wants the world title.
He wants to make this match count as Danielson just digs those knuckles right into the rib cage. Now looking to follow up, sends Lance Storm into the ropes. Staying on his feet though is Storm, enziguri upside the head.
That may be the move that Lance Storm needed to buy himself some time to get back in this matchup. You see him trying to shake the cobwebs here, trying to fire himself back up.
Trying to get that extra burst of energy as the Lance Storm fans get behind him here in Chicago. Forearm strike connects, and again.
Rocks the champ, sends him off the ropes one more time. Back elbow sends Danielson down to the mat. Clothesline from the left side, rocks the champ. One more time off the ropes goes Danielson. Leg lariat connects right on the chin. Cover, hooks the leg. 2.5.
Danielson able to kick out. Lance Storm needs to stay on the man.
He's doing just that. Butterfly in the arms here. Tiger driver.
Oh, but he only gets 2. Danielson able to get his shoulder up. Lance Storm very focused and in top form here in Ring of Honor.
Head by Danielson, but he gets caught with a power slam. Hooks the leg.
Again, Dragon kicks out. Danielson at the mercy of Lance Storm at this point. In control of the matchup, sends the champion into the corner, and he goes through the legs of Lance Storm, off the ropes. Powerbomb! Only two.
Storm went for the run, but got caught with a powerbomb and a near fall.
Line up the legs, looking for the bow and arrow. As he rolls back, has the hold cinched in. Danielson needs to worry about his own shoulders being pinned to the mat with this very maneuver, but he is putting a lot of pressure on the back of Lance Storm once again. But he's hanging in there. He's still got some fight in him.
Crowd trying to rally Lance Storm here. Driving the point of the elbow to the chest, trying to free himself, and he does. And another knee to the small of the back.
Danielson has remained focused on the back of Lance Storm during the course of this match. Going for the Regal Plex, but blocked as Lance Storm fights his way out of that position.
Oh, he's going for the crossface chicken wing. Storm trying to block that free arm, driving the elbow right to the side of the head of Danielson.
Walks the turnbuckles in the corner.
Super kick right on the jaw. Cover! Oh, 2.5!
Danielson gets that shoulder up.
Storm looking back at Todd Sinclair, he thought it was 3.
Looking to capitalize once again, places the champion on the top turnbuckle. Lance Storm now, up to the second himself. Superplex possibly coming up. Can he get it? Danielson trying to fight it off. Shots to the rib cage. The sunset bomb blocked by Lance Storm, who hung on, but a forearm to the back by Danielson, and now he's gonna change it up, known for the super belly to back suplex.
Storm in a bad way, nowhere to go but down from here, and Danielson has him in position. Looking out over the crowd disgustedly. Driving Lance Storm neck first, right in the center of the ring.
And more damage to the back of Lance Storm with the impact of that maneuver. Danielson crawls toward him, rolls him over, cover!
Storm kicked out, but Danielson staying right on top of it. Again, looking to lock in the crossface chicken wing.
Did he get it this time?
Storm to his feet.
Trying to fight his way out of it. Trying to squirm maybe toward the ropes. But he can't break free of the hold. Wraps his legs around the body. This could be it right here.
He's got it locked in right in the middle of the ring. Storm trying to inch his way. Driving the elbow again, trying to turn his body. You see the hands clasp.
Trying to maneuver his body toward the ropes to force a break. And his legs very close to the bottom rope. And there we go. Forcing a break of the hold. The sheer determination of Lance Storm to walk away from Chicago, to walk away from tonight's Ring of Honor event wearing the world title.
Gotta wonder, though, how much he has left in the tank after such a long layoff. Ring rust, obviously not much of a factor early on, but the conditioning of Lance Storm as far as ring time goes, as this match is well over the 20-minute mark now. Danielson up on the top, looking for the diving headbutt. If he hits this, it's gonna be all over. Danielson knows it's all over for the taking right here. Headbutt, nobody hold.
Lance Storm with enough presence of mind to move out of the way. Crash and burn Bryan Danielson as Lance Storm tries to work his way back up to his feet. Double count administered by Todd Sinclair, and Storm's back up. Going for a pile driver, it looks like. The Jerry Lynn cradle pile driver, not enough to earn Lance Storm the world title.
Again, Lance Storm just in disbelief that that was not a 3 count. What guts on the part of the champion here? Has the leg, looking to turn him over. There it is, the single leg crab, locked in right in the center of the ring.
We can see the title change hands right here. Oh, Danielson able to counter into a roll-up. That's how he defeated Roderick Strong last night, but this time it's Lance Storm able to kick out, waiting for Danielson to get back to his feet. Going for the super kick, he ducks. What a forearm strike! Regalplex! Only two!
Danielson says that's it. He's going for cow mutilation. Storm able to turn it into a near fall. Almost had the champ pinned with his own hold.
He's got the arms. Strong back to his feet. Tiger suplex. Only two, still with a hold of the arms.
Danielson refusing to let go.
Cattle mutilation. And he taps. Bryan Danielson pulls